guys, it's April. I just wanted to come on and lay a little bit of groundwork for this project. You're going to need some lunch bags. We call these lunch bag albums, things like that. But we're going to be creating pockets and inserts using up our scrap papers and things like that. You don't have to use scrap papers. I'm not. I'm going to be using full sheets of paper. And we're going to be making these little albums. And you can use white. You can use whatever color of sacks that you want. But I'm going to say you probably don't want to do more than 4 or 5. I think I did 4. Yeah, I did 4. Because it's going to get kind of thick back here. And if you can't punch the holes, it could create an issue for you. Now in the file, you're going to find a piece that looks like this, and this is your guide. And you're just going to get, I don't know, what, about 4 bags. Like I said, you could probably get away with 5. I don't know if 5 will work out. Probably have to go 6. But what you want to do is turn them opposite on each page. There we go. Yeah, because that would make it thicker on one end. So if you're going to do it, I'm going to say go 4 or 6. I just like 4, so that's what I'm going to do. And you want to make sure that you've got your smooth side out and you've got one pocket to the inside. And it doesn't, I mean, you can do it either way you want after you get this step done. You just want the smooth. You don't want a pocket hanging around on the back side once you fold this. That's what I'm trying to say. So once you have it and you have them turned opposite, then you're just going to clip them. You can use gem clips, paper clips, anything like that. You just want to clip it, okay? And so once you've got it clipped, then you're going to fold this over and keep your ends as even as possible. Now, they're not going to be perfect. This isn't meant to be perfect. This is supposed to be rustic. And then just give it a press down the center. And now you've got a nice little crease right down the center. Then you're going to take your sewing machine, and I use my sewing machine. I don't have any problem with it, and just a matching thread, or if you want a thread that's a little bolder, you can. And all you do is zigzag down the center, okay? Once you've zigzagged down the center, then you're going to take your little template here. And depending on how close to the edge you want it, that's up to you. I think I bumped mine out a little bit. So you can trim this down on your trimmer if you want to, so that you can put it on the edge. But you just want to get it even. And then you can do a little sheet of washi, whatever that you want. But I'm just going to mark my holes with a pen or pencil, whatever you want. And, well, it didn't mark, but I've got places there. My pen isn't writing. Da, da, da. There we go. So you're going to line that up, and that's so that your holes are centered. I like 5 holes, so that's the way I set mine up. Well, some people do 3, some do 4, but I like 5. So once you've got these, then you're going to need either a hole punch or your crocodile. I use the big crocodile here, and it has, you can see here where it punches. We're not using this part. This is for setting your eyelets and things. But right here is a hole punch, and you have 2 different ones on this crocodile. Slide that up, and then it will move to the forward. So you can use whichever hole you want, large or small, and I just like the large hole. And then you're just going to slide your bag in. And I haven't stitched this one, but you're just going to slide that in and line that up. I don't know if you can see, I'm lining that up where my hole is, and then I'm just going to punch. And you can see that I didn't stitch this one, but as long as you can hold it all together, you might want to clip it on this end and then stitch it. So add some clips just so you can hold everything together, and you can do this. And then you really don't have to sew it. So if you're don't want to stitch yours, don't worry about it. You don't have to. It's just going to be easier to hold it together if you do. but you're just going to go through and you're going to punch all of your holes. And you want to make sure that you use this guide, because our papers that we're going to be using, they're going to go along with this, and they're going to have the holes cut in them when you cut them on your Cricut. Now, if you're using paper and it's too small, you're using scraps, use this guide to cut your holes so that it fits, and make sure that you check it out and lay it out on your, let's see if I have a sheet. Yeah, let's see. There we go. So if you have like a 6x6 album and you want to use a sheet, and I have that top piece on there, let's just say I've already cut it to size and I know what size I'm going to have it. You'll want to put this down and line up everything on the edge, and then mark your holes and punch those. So you can use some scraps if you have those. I haven't decided what I'm going to use yet, but you can do that. So this is going to be a fun, cute project. You're going to be using some of the tools in your craft room and your Cricut to make these. So you will be using more than just your machine. So now I have all my holes in there, and so that's ready for me to start assembling, just like this one. But this one I don't have to worry about holding all that together. You could possibly go in there and just do a thin line of glue and glue those on top of each other if you want to, just to hold them if you're not sewing. I wouldn't do too much, just a very thin line, just enough to hold it. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you the file layout here. There are 4 of these. As you can see, I have them grouped and centered so they're not all spread out all over the canvas, because there's quite a bit here. But these are your tabs, and you're going to be using those on these 4 squares. They are different. I just wanted to show you a little bit about the layout. Here are the covers, your front and back cover. That's why they're opposite, in case you have writing or a certain pattern, you want those to go the right way. I did use double-sided paper, you're going to see, and I'm going to show you that. And then you have 10 of these pages. And then here, I'm going to ungroup this real quick. You have 4 sets. 2 sets go this way, and this is a set, okay, like this. And you have 2 that go that way, each direction for both of those. And again, I used double-sided paper. I did use 2 different sheets, but I cut 2 sets, 1 set that went this way and 1 set that went this way out of 1 sheet, and then I did the same thing out of another sheet. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that, and I am going to put this back just so it's nice and neat for you guys, and bring all of that in. And here are your tabs. I'm just going to save that, and then I'm going to hit Make It and show you a little bit about how it lays out. And you can go in and select your own decor for it, and I'm going to show you that when we put it together. I'm going to select Make It, and when then I come over here, let me just get this in your view. You see all of this here. You can maneuver this around, and I'm just going to say, if you pull this down, it looks like it won't go. Guys, it will cut. It will cut perfectly fine, because it's going to cut in the exact same spot both times. So you can save a ton of paper on this by doing that. And even your covers here, you can just select, move the object, bring it over to the other one, and bring it down to this corner. So you can either put it over here, and this is the way I cut mine, and I'm going to show you if you're cutting some other things or mixing up your tabs or whatever and you want to use those, you can. But I just put mine just like this, and they cut perfectly fine. So there are ways for you to do this and save paper. You don't need all these sheets of paper to get all of these out of here. And some of it, even just the squares, you can look at the measurements in there, and you can even cut those by hand out of some of your scraps while some of your other things are cutting. There's no need to use your Cricut for every single cut on this. I used my trimmer for a bunch, and we're going to jump over. Okay, so here we are, and I've got mine all laid out just to save time, guys. Most of the paper, well, I think all of the paper I used was out of this paper stack. It's a Cartabella, and it is the Winter Wishes set or Christmas collection kit, item CBCH89016 from Cartabella paper. I got this off of Amazon, probably still available. I think it's this year's paper, so you might be able to get it from there, from scrapbook.com, Amazon. Links are down below. Just go in and search for that paper on those links. So you can see I had some that I had used and some I hadn't out of that stack. So I did a lot of cutting up. This I used on my Candy Cane Seeds card that you guys saw couple of days ago, and then I had all of this paper left over on it, so I cut my front and the back pieces right out of this. Okay, like I said, I stacked them and they cut perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with the way that they cut. They are exactly the same size, cut perfect. So you can stack those like I just showed you in that little on-screen share. But I had just lots of things, so I mix matched everything up, and I don't know if you guys have any of these. If you get this paper pack, you're going to get these. They're in there. I use some of it for my inserts and things. You're going to see when we go to put those together. But some of these I cut out because I'm going to use these elements. Like this one, the ones that I didn't clip or anything, that are still in one piece, that are whole. Just going to go in, and I use my Cricut trimmer for these, and just trim that up. And we can use those for decorative elements in the card. So I've got a bunch of those, and I have another sheet of them somewhere right here in case I need some more. So plenty of little fun stuff. This is not in the file. It is a Design Space Access image, so you can cut this. All I did was make it. Has one that has no layer, one that has a layer the exact same size. All I did was make my circle bigger. That was it. Let's see here. There it is. Oops. Here's my other one, and these are a little bit bigger. These are different shapes, so I may use some of these, but I'm not going to cut this until I know I'm going to use it. You're going to need some twine or ribbon, any decorative elements that you want to add in, and then of course I have my little tabs. So I've already got mine laid out, and what we're going to do, we're going to start with our front cover with our little book. Make sure you got your book, and I've already set all of mine in place just for time purposes. But you can decide how you want to lay yours out. I've already gone through flipping and doing all of that with my papers because I like to use double-sided papers for this. That way you can mix and match and use minimal sheets. And we're just going to line up our holes here and glue that down. So your holes are already cut in there. I'm just going to pull those out right now. I'm just going to line it up on the front and glue that down. And I punched my holes a little bit off on this one. Yours should be perfectly right if you use your guide. That is also in that file. And I'll make sure that you have that. I hid it so I didn't cut it again, but you'll have that in case you want to hand cut any papers. You'll just lay it on the edge and cut. So got that one, and then I am just going to flip the whole thing over and put on my back piece. Go in between each one of those holes. I want them to stick down well. And if you're using paper with a writing on it, make sure that your writing's going the right way, that you've got everything all lined up like it's supposed to be. Then you're going to open it up on that first page, and this is where the fun comes in. You're going to decide which way you want your papers to go, okay? Because they're all double-sided, so you can mix and match and do all that, and I've done that throughout in here. So you're going to see we're going to be putting them down different ways. And this set is going to go like this. And I'm going to start with this bag. This is the bag bottom. And so, what do I want to do? I'm still playing. I like that. I'm just going to go ahead and go with my first instinct. Make sure you get those corners. You don't want it lifting up. And then we're just going to place this right here. I love these lunch bag albums. I'm glad they're making a comeback. Some of the stuff we used to do is coming back. I think these were about, I don't know, they're probably older than that, but I remember them like, I don't know, 7, maybe, it might have been 8 years ago. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that long. You're going to lift up the bag bottom and line up your holes here. And if you glued yours, just make sure that you're not pulling it apart there. It's not going to matter if you didn't sew yours. If you just glued it or tacked it, just make sure that when you go to put it all together that it's going the right direction, because we're going to be putting some ribbon in there or twine, and it's going to sew it all together anyway. So now you have this little pocket, or almost. So we're just going to go right here on this edge, a little bit of glue. My bag was wrinkled right there, just straighten it out. And then we're just going to make sure that I get it on that edge right there of that. Don't want to glue that shut, but I want, my card wasn't glued down. There we go. And then we're just going to stick that down. And that's going to create a little pocket. And I'm using art glitter glue. You can use a number of glues. Aleene's Tacky Glue, Reptile Glue, Barely Art Glue, Tonic, Lineco, Neutral, anything that you want. There we go. It helps if I get that pin out from under there. So now that's going to create our little pocket. And in there you can put gift cards or Ghirardelli chocolates or candy canes. There's just tons of stuff that you can put in there. Let's see. I think I want to put this over here maybe. Let's get this glued down. I'm not using this red side yet. I do use it in there. Just remember, when you buy a paper stack like this, it doesn't matter what papers you use out of there. They're going to look good. They're all going to coordinate. They're going to go together. So have fun with it. If you've got a lot of scrap papers, throw some solids in there. You can put a solid liner behind this one. Put a placeholder for photos. Tons of things that you can do. And I'm just going to, do I want to, nah, I was going to pop dot that up, but you want to be careful if you're doing that, because when you get your candies and stuff like that in there, that can make it too bulky, and you don't want that. So now I've got that laid out. Then we're going to go inside here. These are the ones that you have 4 of, and you can decide how you want to do these. And I am just going to bring this. You have 4 of these, so they're going to fit. And the way that you can do this is when you do your first one, it's just going to go at the top. When you do your bottom one, it's just going to go at the top. And I'm going to show you a little trick when you get to the others. That way, when you got these in there and you pull them out, your tabs are staggered along that edge. And they're not going to go all the way into here with the holes. So make sure that when you're cutting these, if you have writing and stuff like that, that you have your length at the 5.75, I think is what I cut these, but your width's going to be 5.5. That way you don't get into the holes with your dividers. So I'm just going to put some glue on one side of this here and the other. Just want to make sure you get these little squares. And then we're just going to slip this right on that. Okay. just like so. And then you can put photos on this. Again, you can put messages, tilt them sideways, put some things in there, tape a chocolate on there, whatever you want to do. Lots of stuff that you can do with these. I think I will use this. I'll be home for Christmas in there on this side, since it's just a leafy pattern and not busy like the other side is. Just going to pop that down. Make sure it's straight. These can be tons and tons and tons of fun. You can even make this into an advent calendar if you want. You know, go different sides, different days with messages and things like that in there. So now we have that one done. So that one's complete. We're going to open it up. And then here, I'm just going to pop down a couple of panels. These are the ones where you cut 10 panels alike. I do not remember the size. I apologize. It is in the file. You'll see them. You've got this is the one that you have 10 of. It's the only one that has that many. You can, like I said earlier in the video, you can use any kind of bags that you want like this, in different sizes. All you're going to do is change the sizes of your panels. That's it. Super fun and easy. And these are not meant to be perfect. You can play around with them. You don't have to put panels on these guys. You can use your stamps and you can stamp these if you're a stamper. Or you like to do die cuts. You can do die cuts in here instead of doing panels. Do whatever it is that you like. That's cute. Kind of like that. I love to just come in here and play. Oh, that's cute too. I think I'm gonna get. No, I think I'll go with this and kind of lighten that up since this is so dark and this is lighter. Just gonna pop this in. Like I said, all the elements from this, everything is from this one card stack, so it doesn't matter what you put in here. Really, it's gonna match. It's gonna look good. So that completes that section, and now we have another pocket. So I've got this one. I laid this one out to have some reds and creams. So let's go in and pop this down on the bottom of the bag. Hide all those little bag seams. And then we're going to go in between all of our holes there. But this is meant to be rustic, so have fun with it. You can use the white bags that you get from like Hobby Lobby and Michael's. Okay, so now we have everything together, and I am a messy gluer. I have glue everywhere in this black paper, and it's stuck to my fingers. That's okay. Just gonna glue this down. I was gonna pop dot it, but then I decided it's pretty thick, and I didn't want to have it popped up to where it could pop off of here. I'd rather it conform to the front cover. And you could put Merry Christmas. You could handwrite it. You could foil some of these panels, guys, with your new foil quill or your foiling tool from Cricut. So don't be scared to play around with this. I just kind of did mine rustic. I like it kind of rustic. There we go. And now I'm just going to get more cord than I know. I won't need this much. This is really overkill, but I want to make sure that I have enough to tie it off. And I made myself a guide for this, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go up in the center. And you may need a pin or something. You may have to go in halfway. I'm just going to go in. Make sure there we go. If any of your papers are down in there from your file papers, you'll want to get those out. We're just going to pull those up so that they're not in the way. Once you have your thread in, they won't fall down too far. Like that. And you can use ribbon. I'm just using some twine here. Pull this guy out. It's kind of blocking that hole. Okay. I'm just going to pull that through. And then I'm just going to work it. But you want to make sure now that when you open this up in the middle that you've got some room. So you want to have some play. You don't want to get this too tight. And that's why I cut extra. Just so I could go ahead and thread all of these. And then I can bring it back. So all I'm going to do is thread these through until I end up with both of my loops coming up right here. This one is going to be, let me just pull it on through. This one is going to be one of my top threads because our bow is going to be tied here at the center. So you're going to bring this one in and out until both of them are coming up. One here and one here, or one here and one here. Doesn't matter. And then you're going to tie it here. I'll be back before I tie it. Okay, so now I've got it all laced across the back and across the front. I want to make sure that I can open it up. Don't want to get it too tight. Okay. And then we're just going to tie it off. Now you're going to have some loops like that. The loops are going to be a little bit loose. That's okay. If you want them a little tighter, you can do that. You can also do 5 bows if you like. I prefer more streamlined, and that's why I do mine this way. But you can, of course, just tie a ribbon here, tie a ribbon here, one here, one here, one here, and have 5 little bows tied off against the spine. Totally up to you. I'm just going to tie it off right here at the top of this one. I'm going to tie it in a knot just so it doesn't come undone right there. And then I'm just going to tie. I want to do a rabbit elbow. And then we're going to, of course, bring that down. Tie it off again. And then I'm going to trim off my excess. How stinking cute is that? And of course that twine will relax. I like to put a little bit of glue on my knot. You can use hot glue if you want. I just use a little dab and it'll be fine. But how stinking cute are these? Super, super, super easy, super fun. Lots of stuff you can do with them. Again, you can put your chocolates or candy canes or whatever in these pockets, some notes. You put little gifts, anything that'll fit in there. So there's tons of things you can do with this, guys. You can use this for several holidays. You can use it for birthdays, tons of stuff. Keepsakes for baby showers. Lots and lots of stuff. So let's see yours. Get some of those made. Post them in the group. Again, you can use just regular lunch bags like I did from the grocery store. I had those on hand, so that's what I used. You can buy the white ones or the color ones from your Hobby Lobbies and Michael's and Joann's, and you can use those. Walmart has them too, I think, in the birthday section. They come in like packs of 10. That'll do 2 books, 2.5 books. So have fun with it, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.